I was gonna play the song, but I don't want to get hit for copyright. So these are the lyrics to a song my mother dedicated to me after my first divorce that I didn't really understand why. It's by Oliver, and it was used in The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie in 1969, as it says here. And I thought she just was referring to the "You're Young and Alive" line when she dedicated it to me. So I've understood a lot more of the lyrics and meaning, especially as my life went further into astrology, and I got this son here singing when it really started happening for me, things changing, and she was still waiting. So my son, he sings. I have two Leo risings in my life. Both of them love to sing, and one of them's my young son that actually talked to her when he was young. I could tell it was her by what he said. So anyway, if you look up the song, most people don't know it, so this story has special meaning. And what I'm going to show is on the day that my mother died, which is 19 years ago today, um, I had picked my older son up from school and taken him to his favorite Chinese restaurant to tell him that his best friend grandma had died. And while I was telling him, this song came on over the loudspeaker. And, to hear it in a Chinese restaurant and it's already such an obscure song, that really hit hard. And I got up and went to the bathroom and started crying. But, so I'm going to show my natal chart I have ready, and I have my son's natal chart ready. But I think I'm going to make a series with a few more just because the composite charts with my mom and everything, even the triple composite, it's pretty amazing. So we'll get started. Oh, these lyrics here are on songlyrics.com, just so they get credit. Okay, so this is my birth chart, and I'll start with mine mainly because I know it best. As I've said in other videos, I have all kind of things, poster chart, and even more charts where I know my placements best. And if this is the first video you've ever watched, these are where things were on the inside here in black when I was born, the exact moment that I was born. And the green on the outside are the planets up in the sky. For this was for January 24th, 2006. So planets normally go this way at different rates around the wheel, and they will interact with the planets and points inside of here. Uh, unless the planet's retrograde or it's a node like this, then they go clockwise. So let's see, where are we going to start at? I guess I'll start with my dark markers here. I use the six-pointed star representing magic. Uh, my Hades at 1947 here was exactly opposite the moon, representing the women and intuition at 1947. I also have Apophis here in the first house, and I think it's 1927. But Hades is sorrow, and it is, of course, he was the ferryman, like Anubis, to the underworld. And that would connect up here to my uh, Icarus. Icarus is related also to things happening right on time. So, in the right order of things, the way things that should be. So, this is a healing. Hades can be healing and it can be sorrow. And it's opposite the moon here. Of course, I was very sad, but hearing that song was very healing to me. It does make a square to Musica, which is a fixed star that sits here right at my midheaven, opposite my emotional foundation here, and my roots. I love music, And I'm always posting songs on Facebook and popping out songs. Anybody says a word, I pretty much know a song for it. Um, and of course, it says right here with my Patricia, um, and my other Leo rising sits right here. So anyway, and that makes a square here on this day. Pax, which is soul contracts, is 2051 here right here next to the moon, so it connects also, connecting a little more broadly to my 12th house Venus, and Venus is your spiritual purpose in the esoteric charting. Let's see more chaos. Gotta love my chaos placement, the things that sit all around it. So my natal chaos here is right near to the town name. Um, my son's last name, and I also have two daughters with the same last name. They were also affected this day. Uh, Connects in with that. 2135 to Patricia at 2131. The whole family took this one really, really hard. So here we have transit China at 2105 connecting in and connecting positively here to the Pax and the moon. Moon does rule the intuition and female figures. Sitting right here near my Gianna, which Gianna did not even exist then. Uh, Still basic old Gagnero then. So Gagnero is my mom's name for me, and I know I'm saying it wrong. It's French, and I just think it's funny to pronounce it funny like that. And as you can see, I have Quirk right next to it. So mom had told me that my name was originally spelled Gagner, and so I chose that asteroid and followed it for a while and decided, yep, that one applies to me also. But so then I have that one, and then I have Gianna, which is me now. That's more closer to my dad's name for me. I actually found a fixed star that's the exact spelling, but that's another story. So, and then I have Ginky is also me, which is little me, my inner child, and childhood wounds, all that stuff. So back to where I was, we were looking for these. His last name at 1912 would connect into the moon and Hades. Uh, that's in transit here. And let's see. All right, so we have those connections all right there. Now, there was a total eclipse this last year. I think everybody remembers there was a total eclipse across the United States, April 8th, 2024, and that was a Saros cycle, Saros cycle 139, which actually connects to an eclipse cycle back then, the 113s. Right here. Okay. March 29th, 2006. That's a little bit after my birthday that this eclipse was also a total solar eclipse at 8:33. So we have 1922 and we have 8:33, but they're related in the same eclipse cycles. And the one in 2006, when she passed away, actually hit my Vesta and my Oliver and my son. Um, As you can see, Oliver sits right in between my son and my Vesta. Now, Vesta is the caretaker, and I was taking care of my mother before she passed. I am the family caretaker. And so that was the first inkling in a long time I'd had of some magic in my life that I paid attention to. And Vesta is the keeper of ancient sacred wisdom, and it's very related to what I do now, studying metaphysics and astrology and other things that are considered taboo. So anyway, oh, there's Eris. Yes, I have Eris conjunct my Mercury, which is the hearing, thinking, communicating. and Eris is discord for positive changes and a bit of a rebel. Um, so I was born with it 1231, 1347 right here with my Mercury and Chiron, which is the wounded healer. So, that 20 connects into all the other 19s and 20s. And this eclipse there, 2024. Back to this eclipse at 8:33, that actually connects to my ascendant, what I came in for. Descendant axis, other people. And it connects to the transit China here, which was on my natal restaurant address and Astro Courier. I know where all of my different um, astrology asteroids. I studied myself best, so connects to my son's name. There are two versions of his name I've mentioned in a video I did for him when he was beat up on a full moon in my list there. But anyway, so one of his names has it's spelled with a Y, and the other one it is his name and it says Sun. So it connects to this one with the Y, which is right near my China, and then that's the eighth house, and the eighth house is considered the esoteric house of uh, contact from beyond death. It's ruled by Pluto, which right now recording this, Pluto and Apophis are actually exactly conjunct. Uh, and Apophis, I want to describe it correctly. Well, I guess I'll just show it right here from my word list. Uh, Apophis is the serpent of chaos, dragon, Scorpio-like energy, god of chaos. And this neutral meaning is constantly destroying and regenerating, stirring up fears. It's Lemurian related. If you don't know what Lemurian is, it's supposedly the original beings. Anyway, go look it up. You see, I have Jupiter in the eighth house here, and Jupiter expands whatever it touches. It's also spiritual connection and protection. So I'm going to stick with these and get back around to them. So my sun is connecting here to also, we were connecting to that eclipse at 8. Hestia. Hestia is another version of Vesta. You see, I have it in 4th house, home and family, and like I said, I am the family caretaker. Translating Saturn was at 8 degrees connecting to that. And I have Saturn in the 12th house, which is the house of metaphysics and endings. I take responsibility. I also help my father the end of his days. So there's a lot more that are very closely related. I know that my Texas is at 7 degrees here, and academia here. And academia is not just about schooling; it's about our learning in life. So very closely connected. We have the nodes. We're at 6 degrees and 34 minutes, and that actually connects to my natal inner cosmos, which of course would be communication or contact from the cosmos. Babylon is related to astrology, and Delphi, I don't have on my poster chart with the exact minutes, and I was too lazy to look it up, but I know it's 6 something. And Delphi is the Oracle of Delphi, where channeling information from other places. Kronos is another Saturn, and Kronos is also related to watches, I found when I went to go see about a watch. But anyway, so Kronos is another Saturn, and Saturn is, the Lord of Time. It's a responsibility. So here in my Cancer second house, we have Gene at 5:35 is connecting to these as well. Polyhymnia is right nearby at 4:25, and these are where they were when I was born. Like I said, talent right near it too is I do have a talent for music, not playing it, but I know a lot of songs. So Cancer is the intuitive house. Second house is a compulsive house. It is the most compulsive house in astrology, from everything I have read. We do things when this house is affected, and we don't even know why. So here's Gene, and has an E in it for the asteroid, and it's right across from my Jupiter here in the eighth house. So let's see. There was an eclipse also in 2024, March 25th, again around my birthday. And the lunar eclipse was at 5:13, and that connects to my Neptune here. Um, Neptune rules everything I have here in the 12th house, and it also rules my Pisces up here, where China, my son's last name, Orpheus, Haunting Melodies, Phallus, the beginning of something. So this eclipse was hit last year. Things have been a lot heavier for me this past year since the eclipse has happened, and is what it is. So Kali is related to the Kundalini awakening and electrical forces. There's the South Node sweeping through here. North Node is the direction that we're heading. It's the forward path of destiny. South Node is the past. And the South Node and the North Node are connecting here to transit Quirk at 6:54. And of course, Chaos at 5:06 is right opposite my Neptune. Neptune ruling endings in the metaphysical. In hospitals. Mom was in the hospital not long before that. And they told her she was going to die, and she got very angry that the doctor told me that, but she didn't want to worry me. So Patricia here is at 7 degrees 1 minute, connecting to my Jupiter in the 8th, as well as to my Sun and to my Oliver. She's right across from my Babylon and Delphi. Uh, and that's regular Patricia there. I have several for her. Don't want to do that. So what else do we have? Oh, the location. I have a special way of locating things now that I discovered over the summer, and the location was 703, connecting to her as well. So let's see. They're sitting right here at my Sun Neptune midpoint at 6:04. I could put in midpoints all over the place. It just gets confusing, so I just put in some interesting ones. My Mars Pluto is actually about 5 also. So Sun Neptune would be, how I shine, which my Sun is in Aries, 11th house on the internet and with sciences and things for the collective, like astrology. So Neptune, of course, rules this 12th house with my 12th house Venus, opposite Gianna, and connected to Patricia here. So, we all have these things in our lives that it's not the only thing in my life, but they all connect up. So I have fun with it. Let's see. We are at here. So I think we went all the way around. And one of the things that I discovered um, when I pulled my chart was, that I'm connected to these black holes. You have the supergalactic center. It was at 146 when I was born. The great attractor is another one here. My destiny and amour, which is love for others. Um, and Sisyphus doing the same thing over and over, are all sitting here at the great attractor, which is opposite my Pallas, third eye. Pallas is where illusions are stripped away, connections are made. Um, she can be related to the wiser woman. So my Pallas is here at 15 degrees and 1 minute, so it connects into all of that across from the Great Attractor. And I also have Celestia and Urania, who are goddesses of astrology, sit here. Astro Wizard at 1706. So, you see, that's right next to my Jean Lee here. So, back to the black holes, then you have the galactic center at 2628, and my current last name actually sits at 2701. So, very connected in special ways to the galactic center and great attractor and supergalactic center, these black holes. And the black holes supposedly stream information through to us. Uh, Once I started really working on my healing journey and meditating more and such, I became much more receptive. A lot of things changed. So, that's the black hole story. When I match these things up, start putting things in. Now, I could put in a whole lot more. In my son's chart, I went ahead and put different things in his that I did not put in mine just to show something a little different. I do have Orpheus here, which is the haunting melodies, right with Hecate and Demise, um, and Demise death, and Hecate is the goddess between the three worlds. And pull that one up. All right, the goddess who roams all three worlds, and she's related to times in between: midnight, twilight, doorways, crossroads, stairways, birth and death, the place of no place, no time, the maid mother crone. Uh, Scanning real quick. Guide for the souls of the dead. She guards the veil between worlds. So intuitive wisdom, protective mother. It fits all of those right there. So not the first time I've had music. Well, actually, that was the first time, but not the last time I've had haunting melodies and all of that related with death and very strange things. But I digress. So Orpheus does connect to my Eris, Eris Discord, Chiron wounding and the wounded healer, and Mercury thoughts and communication connects to my Celestia and Urania here, the goddesses of astrology. I had Juno sitting right here. Now, I was not an astrologer then. Mom and I had pulled our charts from Linda Goodman, had bought them, and of course, she had a psychic fair when I was 17, and she was very psychic herself, but never developed it. So she's actually done more for me since she's passed than she was able to do here on Earth. So we have Juno here, which is related to committed relationships and soul contracts, sitting here on Celestia and Urania. This day and this event came back, to me over and over and over again. And of course, when I first started doing astrology, learning it, one of the first things I did was start pulling up the day she died. And so here we are. Angel was also at 1342, right in between my Mercury and Chiron and Eris, and Juno here on my Celestia and Urania. So like I said, she planted the seeds. I have Sphinx and Discovery in very interesting places. I love mysteries. So she planted those seeds, and of course they connect to my moon at 1244. Now, my moon is opposite Orpheus, and Meta is also opposite my moon, and Meta being metaphysical, as well as Facebook, where I post a lot of my video links too. And the moon, of course, is our intuition. It's our mother. It's the female figures in our lives. It's how we care and nurture and feel cared and nurtured. Fourth house, home, and family for me. And my mom's last name, I have a couple of asteroids I use for it. And this one ending in CE is at 1149, right next to my Juno at 1245. and my town name also here. Uh, so those are opposite Eris, Chiron, and Mercury. I've had so much contact from her since I moved to this town 14 years ago. And like I said, I love a mystery, so I just kept writing it down and thinking about it and looking things up and researching. So let's see what else we got. Still within the 2 degree or so range that I like for the great attractor. Everything that I have marked in purple and China, and we have gone in a circle. So I'm going to go to the blues now. Now, Galatea is another related to the galaxy and stars, and Jupiter here was sitting at my Galatea. Jupiter is that spiritual connection and protection, expanding everything. And Gianna here was right close by at 1555. So they're sitting here at my part of fortune, which is my lot in life in Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto, which rules death and rules connection to the other side and to all of the esoteric arts. Uh, and of course, my Jupiter is in the 8th house, ruled by all that. So, 6th house is your daily experiences. Can't remember at the moment I think it's service to others is the esoteric, what we're here to do for other people. So, Gagnero here, like I said, is right here with my quirk. Um, I've always been different. I can't help it. At least I understand why now. And those connect to my Uranus and Spirit that are conjunct. Um, Uranus is the unexpected. It will shake you to awaken you. When Uranus was going through this 10th house of my life direction and Pisces here, I was definitely shook up. And everybody thought I was crazy, just whatever. So, uh, but I have it right here next to Spirit. So Uranus is also your higher self, and it's your personal creative genius. I have it in the 5th house, which is our passionate hobbies and things we like to do for fun, which of course uh, is my astrology. That's more related to my Diaretsa being opposite Pluto, but we'll get to that. So in the blues, we have my son's sun name, 1825 here, making a positive trine over here to my quirk. He heard it too. Um, the restaurant address number, and Patsy, her young childhood nickname, right here at 1612 and 1626, sitting near my Astro Wizard and a bunch of other things I have here. Can't think it right off the top of my head. Right near to my Jean Lee, connecting to all these. Mars. Now, Mars rules all of my Aries, and my Scorpio co-rules Scorpio. Mars at 1841 actually has Anubis conjunct it. Anubis being the ferryman to the underworld. So, in transit, Mars and Anubis were conjunct at 1841, and that's right opposite my quirk. And connects to actually something else that I'm quirky working on from my other Leo rising that sits here. And it's pretty interesting what I've learned from that part of life too. But that's something else for later. It's not fully developed yet or finished. Uh, so we have also Neptune that rules my 12th house here. Neptune's endings and the metaphysical is at 1647. Of course, connecting to Jupiter. And Neptune is square to Jupiter. And at the 16s to Patsy and the restaurant address. And then Venus in Ceres. Ceres is the carer and the nurturer. And in Capricorn, she would be the elder one. Orpheus, 1730. Ceres, 1731. Venus, 1813. So making important connections also to Gagnero here and quirk, and anything that they are doing activates your natal or whatever chart you're looking at. The transit planets activate what's going on. So, I have Ceres here opposite the restaurant address and Astro Courier since I was born, with China sitting on it on this day. Saturn right here nearby. And, connecting to what I came in here to do. Gemini, the communicator, the learner, the teacher. This actually is a special degree of seeing patterns. 10 degrees Gemini with magic glasses. Now my ascendant, descendant, rounded up is, from 9:56 to 10. That actually does connect to this October 3rd, 2005 eclipse. And it was a ring of fire eclipse at 10 degrees 20 Libra. So there is a fixed star right here. Like I said, it's actually the closest spelling of the name that my dad wanted for me. I did find the paper when he passed away. And so, yeah, there's a fixed star there. And the other one actually is my mother's son. So, two fixed stars with the same spelling, and they connect to my mom's son and to me. Anyway, fun times. This 10 degrees here. Oh, excuse me, I'm sleepy. Connects to my ascendant and descendant axis, and anything that's around 8 to 12 degrees in my chart. Thought I had put the Saros, but I don't think it's really necessary that I do. There was also March 14th, 2006, a lunar eclipse at 24 degrees 20 minutes Virgo. So it connects to all of the yellows. First of all, my sun moon midpoint, which I mentioned in most of my videos. It's where we integrate ourselves, our emotions, and our ego, and what we come here for, our consciousness. And it's the father, mother. I have mine in the first house. This is Genes. Asteroid Genes here at 2602 is connecting to the galactic center, where Pluto at 2540, Karma at 2506, and Pat Miller at 2320. Of course, 2320 would also connect over here to my 12th house Venus, but also to my natal genes in the 12th house. And it's at 2430 where I was born. That connects to the October 17th, 2005 lunar eclipse. Now, lunar eclipse, that has to do with the moon being eclipsed. And moon is the mom, females. 24 degrees, 7 minutes Aries connects to my sun moon midpoint and opposite my true Lilith with Ginky sitting on it. Little me. Oh, I cried. Fell apart for quite a while. So it hit my town name too, the town that we were living in at the time. Now, my natal China, is that China or Chinese? That's Chinese. I think it's Chinese Wilson is the name of the asteroid. So I picked it because it's a Chinese restaurant, and it's at 2605, I think it says there. And that's connecting also to the galactic center and Karma Pluto sitting here, and to transit genes at 2602. Like a challenging square, genes to Chinese. Okay, following me here. And then we have transit Oliver. Transit Oliver was at 25 degrees 26 minutes. And so that's connecting to all the 24s, 25s, 26s. And they are opposite my Magion, which is magic. And Smith. Now, I actually wasn't always a Miller. I was a Smith for the first 5 years of my life. Long story. So I actually have brothers with that last name. And one of the Smith brothers, his first name there's an asteroid of his first name with Miller, and that's at 2502. He lives in Indiana, and I had to call and involve him as well as my other Smith brothers about Mom. He's also up over in here too, connecting with the 18s, but Mars, yeah, connecting to his 18s where Venus was. Yeah, so let's see, Lilith, Pluto, Karma, Oliver. Yep, that's all of those. All right, so I started here with this and got sidetracked. Imagine that. Gene here at 535, my polyhymnia near it. Also, transit Gene here with the E on the end at 352. Now, I have messenger at 4 degrees here, and then polyhymnia, which is music. There's several for music, and that one is there. Muse, I have at 4 degrees, and that's actually at 4 degrees here. Makes a karmic in conjunct to my messenger. So 4 degrees for that one. I know I missed mentioning that. Now we're going to go back to the silvers, and the sun and Chiron were actually conjunct. Ninth house, Aquarius. Aquarius is for the collective. I am sharing my pain with you to hopefully help somebody understand that when it's time for our loved ones to go, it's just their time. I've had 19 years to get used to the idea. Still cried today. But so 351 and 350, of course, connect to the messenger and to the talent. 350 is my talent. Chiron, 350. Uh, so wounded healer, here I am. Quaor, which is cosmic creativity. And this is the astrodienst Lilith. I just put BML, which is not the same calculation as true Lilith. But Lilith was Adam's first wife, and she's related to magic, and she's related to more esoteric knowledge and witchcraft, and so anyway, I have these here at 338 and 323. Yeah, with Gene sitting right here at it at 352. I should have been silver. This is my vertex at 432 also, and that's Destiny's Gateway, and exactly opposite is the anti-vertex, another very important spot, which of course intercosmos is very closely connected to, and many other things I have here. So Quaoar and Lilith here are connecting to transit Patricia Ann, which is her first and middle name, 1 degree 45 minutes, and I put a star by this because my Pax is 1 degree 45 minutes. That sits on the supergalactic center at 146, and that's soul contracts. Fifth house is my children, my passion creations, as well as my lovers. I've chosen some men like my dad. Hush. So, Spirit right here is next to Patricia Ann at 105, and Miller got bumped. It should be more over here. It's 2 degrees 30 minutes, but very closely connected. Mercury, the ruler of my chart, at 1 degree 54 minutes, I have a star next to, also connecting to 145 Patricia Ann and Pax. Because Mercury is my chart ruler, it's also ruling communication. This is the ninth house. It is our spiritual path. They are all sitting here at my Patsy, which is conjunct my North Node, Path of Destiny. My North Node is actually my dad's birthday, which I've always found funny. North and South Node are his birthday. And some very other and very important people sit right here exactly at 3 degrees at my North Node. So, Sun had just crossed that, making a square to my Destiny's Gateway and Quaoar, cosmic creativity, and streaming into the consciousness and Lilith. Okay, that connects to Phallus. Now, Phallus is a centaur, and Phallus is there when the cork gets popped, when something big happens. So we have 3 degrees 50 minutes, 3 degrees 50 minutes for Chiron, 3 degrees 50 minutes for my talent. This was my clue 19 years ago. Something big was up. I've had lots more since, like I said. So let's see what else. I have Epiphany. Sits 2 degrees something right here with my Saturn. Uh, Saturn is a teacher. Saturn is responsibility. Uh, Saturn, Lord of Karma. Many things like that. I like to follow Epiphany whenever I get the ahas. I call them nudges or ahas. My mom's last name here that ends in an A is at 2 degrees 59 minutes in my natal chart. So it's also connecting to Mercury and everything else that's in silver. The only other thing here is we have the town name that I was living at the time at 121. That actually connects to my Mars and Miller and Saturn Epiphany midpoint right here, as well as a lot of other things. And it's opposite my Diaretsa, which is asteroid backwards. Like I said, I have Pluto exactly opposite my Diaretsa and sitting here at the supergalactic center. My last name then, that was my second marriage, is at 2 degrees 1 minute, also sitting there, and that connects to my Saturn in Epiphany. Anything else that I have at 2, which is quite a bit. My mom's last name with the A here. And anyway, so kind of get an idea how all that works out. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, we haven't done the reds. So we're working on them now. Here's Pluto at 032. I have 29 degree Patricia Ann right here with my 29 degree karma. And that's here on the 6th house cusp. So 6th house, like I said, esoterically, karmically would be the service we're here to do for others. And I also have Neowise, the comet that blew through. She brought a lot of new wisdom to me when she was alive and since she's been gone. That sits here. The street that I live on, that I've actually lived in 2 houses on this street, sits here at this degree. And this date then does very much connect to now. Even me recording tonight, all of the planets are lined up so well, where I even have, I believe it's Celestia is on my sun, and yeah, a lot of the same numbers that are highlighted here are very highlighted right now. You know, even the North Node just moved from Aries into Pisces right here. This is actually my Atlantis at 29 degrees here, conjunct my Diaretsa opposite this Pluto. So let's see what else. I have a lot at the 29 degree mark here. So that connects here to my Pat Miller at 2836 and Aura 2926. Your aura is your psychic sensitivity. It's also if you ever have a Kirlian photo taken, they take picture of your aura. Very connected and protected by her. And it connects to the location. This exact location was chosen at my birth. And here's my son's name with the Y. Kali sitting here right at it. And, you know, Kali is that Kundalini awakening, the electrical connections. And here, yeah, here I put the current North Node at 2905 Pisces, 124.25. today. So this is Gagnero here at 29 degrees, 3 minutes. Capricorn, ninth house, spiritual path, beliefs and philosophies, higher learning, higher education. Doesn't necessarily mean going to school. And this house is ruled by Jupiter, the spiritual connection and protection. Okay, and I know this is getting really long and boring, and I missed Uranus here at 8:43, connecting to my ascendant and descendant and everything else, and whatever. So stick to the reds. My son's sun name is 2817 here, right near my Mars and Miller, which form that karmic inconjunct or quincunx here to Patricia Ann in my karma and connects to my Pluto. All right, do what I do and see if there's anything else I forgot. One interesting fact, I said a lot of things are near my chaos. The town's name at 24 degrees here, I actually have the property that I grew up in Indiana, also sits right here at 25 degrees. And my aunt, my dad's sister, sits here at my chaos as well, very close to that property address. Trying to remember if she came to see me in this town. She did go to Florida. Anyway, I digress. My, yeah. My mom's last name with the CE here, and Juno does make a karmic inconjunct to this transiting angel and a positive trine here to the Juno. Now, when I say these things, these sextiles, trines, squares, anything that's highlighted in different colors will make a larger aspect pattern. And I don't have them all memorized. There are quite a few. So I like to just point them out. But I would have to sit and read for you to explain how each one of them matches up. But as they numerically line up like this, there is a bigger purpose and even an explanation for why it happens. I love Judy Hall. She wrote the book of Why and about karmic relationships. Uh, it was very informative, but I felt it had gaps. And so, with what I do with the names and places and all of that, I think it helps to show the gaps. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I still want to do my sons tonight, and like I said, this will be a series of a few, and this is all just because of one song that came on in a Chinese restaurant. So thanks for watching.